my YouTubers, this is your cameraman, Daniel Drepsky, for this a new update video for March 6, 2023. And last time I did an update video was about 4 days ago, around from like the second day of March. And today the weather out there is sunny, partly cloudy, and about 49 degrees, almost near 50. Spring's around the corner. Yep. And the Knobels are going to open up by the end of April. And also recently, Rita's in Pottsville opened since the first day of March, and the one in Squiggle Haven opened last Sunday. Yep. And also back in late January, early February, they just started to open up the Mexican restaurant on Market Street and 2nd. That used to be Wheels. Now you have to go to Wheels. If you live in Pennsylvania, you have to go all the way to Tamaqua for it. Yep. And these are the VHS tapes I got this past week on probably this past weekend. Like one from eBay, some of it from the thrift store in Shenandoah, and I got one of the books. I got it from the library in Pottsville. Yep. Let's begin with one of the Disney VHS tapes, like the Disney's masterpiece release of the 3 Caballellos. This is the reissue. The first release came out in 1982 and 83 of the Neon Mickeys. Then it was reissued in 1988. This is the 94 reissue, and it says a masterpiece by Washington Post. This is the first or the second Disney film ever had live action with animation mix. It follows from Somos Amigos in 1942. The 3 Caballellos was released in early 1945. The 3 Caballellos, starring the Donald Duck, Jose the Parrot, and Panchico. The voice actor of Jose the Parrot, whatever, I guess he was a Portuguese voice actor in real life. I think he was I think he had a small part in Bob Hope's Road to Rio, and realized he was Portuguese. And once I think he appeared on the Mickey Mouse Club in the 50s, singing with Cliff Edwards and Clarence Ducky Nash. He was born 1902, died in 1987. He was 85 years old. Show you what this tape looks like. Big label, and this tape was printed on July 20th, 1997. At the time, I was in summer school at PS 177 in Fresh Meadows, Queens, New York. And I know they have some previews on it, and I want to apologize about this little dust. This tape hasn't been used in years. Okay. Here's a Laurel and Hardy tape called Utopia. I think it's another Laurel and Hardy VHS tape of Utopia known as R2K. And this is the film when Laurel and Hardy discovered, when they got their inheritance for having like this new land and somewhere around like the island. Yep. And this is not a successful Laurel and Hardy film in 1950. I think it's in 51. Yep. During the production of Utopia known as R2K, Stan Laurel was having problems with his health. Oliver Hardy had a heart attack. They both had problems with their diabetes in real life. But during the production of Utopia, Stan was sick. Ollie had a heart attack. But during the filming, it was filmed in Europe in 1951. That's not really from Hal Roach or the days when it was Fox. Yep, this is their final one. This is on VHS, 1985 from Courage Video Group. And this is a public domain. I'll show you what this tape looks like. Vertical label. Yep. And I have Laurel and Hardy Utopia. And I showed you from my previous updates in the past. When I have all my Laurel and Hardy VHS tapes. I got that from my family member who passed away. Because one of my family members loved Laurel and Hardy features and shorts. Here's some other VHS tapes I got. Mary Martin and Peter Pan. This is the 1960 TV special. filmed it in color. And this is the 30th anniversary of it in 1990, released for Good Times Home Video. It was broadcasted and run on NBC in 1960. This is the Good Times Home Video Internet series. Yep. I used to have this on VHS when I lived in Queens. Show you what this tape looks like. Well, print date. This tape has got to be recorded run on SP or the LP. Here's the Charlie Peanut specials. He's Your Dog, Charlie Brown, and It's Your Flash Beagle, Charlie Brown. This is the Paramount, the Charlie Brown Collection series in 1994. I have it, the Flash Beagle, Charlie Brown on VHS in 1985 by Rita Home Entertainment. I even have He's Your Dog, Charlie Brown. It's got from the Peanut 60s DVD set. Here's what this tape looks like. Yep. Looking for a print date. I don't see a print date on there. This tape was printed on the 45th week of 1994. Out of the 205 at the time. 10 years old I was. Here's some other tapes I got. Here's the Family Circus Easter. Easter's around the corner. There's a Jeffrey, PJ, Dolly. PJ, Dolly, and Jeffrey. I can't remember the other kid's name yet. This is the 1987 reissue of Family Circus Easter. Originally came out in the Big Fat Box in 1985 by Family Home Entertainment. That was when Family Home Entertainment owns the right by International Video Entertainment when there was no longer distributed by NGMUA Home Video anymore. 1985 changed everything. Here's what this tape looks like. Yep. This tape was printed on the 16th week of 1992. I was only 7 years old at the time. There's a bar crown code on there. Yep. I wish I had like the original Big Fat Box release. Comes with the public domain cartoons on there. And here's another Disney tape, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, starring with Kirk Douglas, Jace Mason, Paul Lucas, and Peter Lorre. Directed by Max Fleischer's son, Richard Fleischer, and they say Richard Fleischer's like another Steven Spielberg or another George Lucas. Another moment I liked in this movie, that was when Kirk Douglas was singing A Tale of a Whale, and I know it's scary climax when the giant squid gets Captain Nemo. Yep. And it had the sad ending when Captain Nemo gets killed from his island. Yep. That's why it's up to Kirk Douglas to say Peter Lorre and the Professor Slug from Captain Nemo. This is a great movie. This movie nominated for a brilliant Academy Award for special effects. And this is the 1991 release from Disney Studio Films Collection. Originally it came out on VHS and Beta in 1980 when it was in the PAL version. Then it was reissued in 1985 and 1986 of cardboard. And this tape was printed on February 24th, 1992. Ink label, yep. And you know, I think I showed you 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea earlier in my previous update video. Like 1980 original and 1986. Here's something I could sell on eBay. Unopened Shield VHS tape of Miami Vice the movie. This is a TV pilot movie of like the Miami Vice. They only ran for 5 seasons from 1984 to 1989. It has Don Johnson and Philip Michael Thomas. Miami Vice was so popular in the 1980s. This is the MCA Universal Home Video release. I think I have the one in 1985 first release. This is a reissued in 1991. This tape has never been opened over 30 years. This is a TV pilot movie. I know in this series it has Gregory Santor in it, the one who plays Julio on Sanford and Son. And Jimmy Smith was killed in the beginning of this pilot TV movie. The best known for Bobby Simone from NYPD Blue seasons 2 to 6. unopened shield tape, hasn't been opened in years. And here's Arthur's Treasure Hunt. Comes with the chips all down. This was released in This was released around 98 or 99 by Random House Home Video. So what this, it was released in 99. This is when Arthur was so popular. It's been like a year without Arthur episodes, when Arthur went off the air. Show you what this tape looks like. Hold on. Stupid tape. And then yes. Excuse me. Here's the green sticker label. I don't see identified print date on it. Not even though the print of like the week was tape was printed it. Nope. We got some other titles I got also from like the thrift store, like one of the film classics. I have here Betty Davis and Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte in 1965. Co-stars with Libby D. Hamilton and Joseph Cotton. Betty Davis is 57. This is a shocking movie when she was stuck in the past from like the 1920s when she cut someone's hand off because she was so jealous. That's why she was so crazy. Yep. 1988 release from the key video Shine the Spotlight of Betty Davis. First release of Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte came out in 1985 by CBS Fox Video. First reissued in 1986 by key video Shine the Spotlight on Betty Davis, and that was in the clamshell. Here's the ink label. It's gotta be 2001 reprint by 20th Century Fox Home Entertainment. No print date week. Nope. I don't see anything with the print dates. There's gotta be a 2001 reprint. And who knows? It's not a Macrovision. Cool Hand Look with Paul Newman in 1966. Directed. Yep, this seems like one of Paul Newman's best performances. This is an ex-rental tape that co-stars with Sylvia Norton and George Kennedy. And this is released in 1991. The one I used to have was a 1986 reissue, and it came out in the early 80s of the Warner Home Video clamshells. This tape is so shitty anyway. I don't know. This tape is an ex-rental, vertical label. They must have covered a print date by Hollywood Video Rentals. I didn't know they have Hollywood Video Rentals around Pennsylvania. Yep. There's an MGM musical of The Bandwagon with Fred Astaire and Sid Cerise in 1953. Directed by Vincent Minnelli, produced by Arthur Fleet. This is a reissue print in 1989. Originally, when The Bandwagon came out, it came out in 1980 by CBS MGM Home Video, then reissued 1983, 1985 in a slip cardboard, and 1986 in Greek Musicals collection in the clamshell. For best in music and dancing is All Aboard the Bandwagon, featuring the good song called That's Entertainment. That's Entertainment. Here's the vertical label. There's no print date on it. Sid Cerise is just a good dancer. Same thing for Fred Astaire, and same thing for Gene Kelly. And then here's the British movie called Beckett, spelled B-E-C-K-E-T. Sergeant Richard Burton, the one who was married to Elizabeth Taylor, and Peter O'Toole for his best performance in Lion in Winter and Lawrence of Arabia. Nominated for 12 Academy Awards. This is an ex-rental VHS from Breakfast to Video. Made in 1964. This gotta be from MPI when it was reissued in the early 90s. The one I used to have was the 1986 release. That I used to have was the ink label. This kind of copy of this is like reminds me of one of my lost Honeymooners VHS tape series that I used to get in the days of Suncoast. Because at the time I was a Jackie Gleason fan. How much I like Jackie Gleason. And Art Carney, you'll be boy. One of these days, Norton. Okay, we got some other tapes. I got it from the thrift store. Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers. And this is the reissue from Kids Classics Division of Good Times Home Video in 1989. Originally came out in World Vision Home Video's Hanna-Barbera's Superstar Collection series. The same series had Yogi's Great Escapes, Yogi and the Magical Flyer of the Spruce Goose, and Top Cat and the Beverly Hills Cats, and the Wit in the Bed and the Huckleberry Hound. And I hate the newer Werner cartoon made by HBO Max. It's not that great compared to the original Scooby-Doo's. Yep. And this sick, Artie Johnson, maybe has Frank Welker in it too. As the voice of Fred. I'll show you what this tape looks like. As the print date, it must be recorded right on the LP. I'll be keeping that. And here's the Powerpuff Girls, the movie. Unopened Shields tape hasn't been opened in years. This was released on VHS around 2002 by Warner Home Video. At the same time, it was out on DVD in a snap case. PG rated? Yep. And here's something I found. Bill Cosby's picture page. What's the difference? Originally came out from Walt Disney Home Video in 1985 or something. This is about the Bill Cosby teaching students about just learning with math and reading, science. Yep. This was a reissued in 1987. It's going to be recorded right on the EP. Originally, I'd rather have the Disney release. I wish I could find like the original. This is a reissue of it. Bill Cosby was once in a Disney movie that was with Elliot Gould and Devil and Max Deviling in 1981. I think I showed you that in my previous update videos about that Disney film. And here's one of my Mary Tyler Moore VHS, like Mary Tyler Moore TV show. Volume 1 has double episodes. She's gonna make it after all. One of the episodes is unedited original that is Love Is All Around by the premiere episode. Then this other one, Today I Am Mama. During the series they had Edward Asner, Vanity Hopper, David McLaughlin, Ted Knight, and Cloris Leachman. Don't forget it has Betty White in it. This was released in 1992 by MTM Enterprises. She's gonna make it after all. It's gotta be from distributed by like the USA Video. I'll be selling this on eBay for the future. If you like Mary Tyler Moore so much. I like Mary Tyler Moore in Phineas Begins Again, in the musical with Julie Andrews and Carol Chaney and Thornton E. Martin Billy. Here's Mary Tyler Moore's show, another tape. It has just one episode on there. And it won 27 Emmys in the past. This is a 30-minute one. Chuckles Bites the Dust. It's going to be the last one of like the Mary Tyler Moore show series. That's when they got fired in the series. I can find one of these. I can get the whole entire DVD set like the Mary Tyler Moore show. Betty White was the last one from a Mary Tyler Moore show. She died by the last day of 2021. She was 99. During last year, they teared down Betty White's house to put up like condominiums. There's another VHS tape I found. Christopher the Christmas Tree. It's going to be from CBS, Fox Video, and Fox Video in 1994. I don't need this tape, but it's just there by accident. Here's a vertical label. This tape was printed on the 35th week of 1994. At the time, I was maybe in summer school in Ridgewood when I pulled the file on by accident. Here's Around the World in 80 Days, not the one with David Niven in 1956. All the three students go around the world in the days. This is a Star Classics release. It's got to be public domain. It's made 1984. This is released in 1987 on VHS. I'll show you what this tape looks like. Yep. Star Classics. Yep. That's gotta be a public domain. And here's Starlight Hotel, a Republic Pictures home video release. Released in 1990, made in 1987. That stars with, let me see. I don't know which actors appears in it. This is a 90 release. This is a reprint printed it on September 17th, 1999. 3 months before going into the new year and the new decade and the new century. And here's the last tape. I got it from the flip store. Chuck Norris and Missing in Action 2, The Beginning. That'll be from MGM Home Video and Canon Films release. It's gotta be released around 1985 or something. This film was, it was released in 1985 by MGM Home Video. This is an ex-rental. I don't see any print date on it. I think I see something over there. Hold on. It was printed it on September 4th, 1985. Mission in Action, The Beginning, VHS, with Chuck Norris. And you believe this? They must have did something stupid to like the box. I like those big MGM Home Video packagings, but why the hell they tear it up in the first place? And here's one VHS tape I got in the mail this week from eBay. A Holy Grail VHS, Butterflies Are Free, starring with Goldie Hawn, Alan Haskett, and Edward Albert. 1972 Academy Award winner for Ellen Haskett for Best Supporting Actress. This is when Goldie Hawn was 27. Early 83 original packaging by RCA Columbia Pictures Home Video. No UPC code on there. I just checked the tape out earlier, but it has like a little bit problem when you fast forward the tape, or just like the rewinding it. But it works now because I fixed it. Has the UPC code, orange tag, the original early 83 sticker label. The one I have, it's a 1985 reprint. But I showed you that from my previous update videos when I had to show you all my the Columbia Pictures VHS tapes I got from eBay from last year. This tape was printed on the 9th week of 1985. So I checked out this tape. It has a 15-20-minute depth tone at the end of this tape. It's just like the long depth tone they use on the end of the Funny Girl VHS, the end of the Natural, and the end of the 8th and the 9th Three Stooges tape. And I got